everybody, it's me, Kristen, reporting for Schizophrenia.com again. And this video is going to be about my recent trip to Seattle, where I was a research participant. I don't know if I mentioned that I was going to do this, but, whoops. So the National Institute of Mental Health is conducting this research, and I found about it on schizophrenia.com, and I'm like, wow, that sounds like fun research. I'd love to participate. So I went to the website. I clicked from the link on here on schizophrenia.com, and I went to the website, and I contacted the researcher that's at the closest facility to me, which is in Seattle, and I just started a dialogue with them, and said I would be interested and can I participate. So we found out that I did qualify for the research, and my whole family, my dad, my mom, my brother, and I went up to Seattle, and they paid for everything. They paid for the travel expenses, the hotel, cab rides, and dinners, and everything, lunch, and whatever. And we went up there on a Wednesday, and my brother and I basically did work the first 2 days, and then my parents did work on the last 2 days. So we overlapped on Tuesday, so we were there basically 3 days. And the first day they basically took our blood and did some preliminary interviews. We did some tests to remember 3 words and to count backwards from 100, subtracting 7 or something like that. Which maybe some of you are familiar with if you've ever been tested for psychiatric problems or anything. It's just, painless, general stuff like that. Probably the only thing that hurt was the blood take, but that didn't even hurt me at all. The first day they couldn't get my blood because my veins were too small or something, so they had to get it on the second day, but it didn't hurt at all. So yeah, my brother's a big baby, and he he almost passed out from giving blood, but anyway, it's because he was looking at it, and anyway, he survived. So if the big strong football player can survive giving blood, they're always the most scared. Anyway, so we all gave our blood because they're going to be, what they were trying to test was, basically, their idea is that normal people perform one way on these cognitive tests that they've figured out, and then schizophrenic people perform another way. So basically their idea is that first-degree relatives, that would be my brother, my mom, and my dad, of people with schizophrenia, that's me, I have schizophrenia, so the first-degree relatives of people with schizophrenia would perform they would perform more like the schizophrenic, or, somewhere in between the schizophrenic and the normal person, on these cognitive tests where they think the cognitive abilities may be hindered in the people who are not schizophrenic. Even, they don't show signs of any schizophrenia or anything, but they might have these same cognitive deficits. And so then what they want to do is try to see if they can match up these deficits, if they exist, with genetic material, with a certain gene or excuse me, a certain gene or something like that. And the hope is if they can match up these cognitive deficits with certain genes, then they could devise some sort of, better therapies for schizophrenia, or they would just know more about the disease. So it's pretty exciting research to be a part of, and I really say if anyone is interested, you should definitely participate, because it's interesting. My parents had a good time, my brother even had a good time, and it doesn't hurt or anything. It's kind of fun, actually, and it's nice to be a part of something, to help maybe future generations of people so they don't have to suffer as much, you know. So anyway, the second day, the testing was basically we did a lot of like things on the computer where sorry, we had to recognize shapes or faces or numbers or words, stuff like that. And oh, and then we did this one where you have to tap the space bar really fast with your fingers. And yeah, there were just a lot of kind of like recognizing shapes and numbers and things like that. And then, well, I did that the first part of the day, and then my brother did it the second part of the day. But for the second part of the day, I did what my brother did the first part of the day. So, in the second part of the day, after lunch, I went and I was hooked up to some electrode things where they hooked it up to your head, right, like maybe close to your eyes. Yeah, it's close to your eyes, and then one like, whoops, like right here in your head, and I think like right back here somewhere. Anyway, these electrodes don't give off shocks or anything. It's just to measure your brain waves. I'm sorry, my cat's meowing at me. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm sorry. My cat likes to meow at me and get my attention. Anyway, so let's see. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so these electrodes don't hurt or anything. They just measure your brain waves, and then they're measuring. One of the tests was they put some headphones on your ears, and then they had like I shouldn't give it all away by saying what it is, but they basically test your startle response. So you hear a noise and you become startled, and they keep testing that. And then this other one, you hear a noise, but it's like a clicking sound. It sounds like tapping on a window in the middle of your head. It's kind of funny. And so then they just measure how your brain reacts to that. And that is to measure something called gating. So I found that out from the researchers. So yeah, that was about it. And then, I mean, the one where you're hooked up to electrodes, that's kind of the most boring part, because you're just sitting there and you're just like, what? There's not much to do. You just sit there in a comfy chair, and I mean, it's kind of relaxing, I guess, but I don't know. And so then, after I took another break, I did some more word games. Like, I had to tell back a story that they read to me and stuff like that. And that was about it. Then my parents went the next day, and that was it. And we came home, and it was a whirlwind trip. You know, we didn't have time to do much. But it was really fun. And so anyway, if you guys are interested in participating in any research, schizophrenia.com here has a lot of listed sites for research and everything. So you might qualify for one study where you might not qualify for another. It all depends. And I really encourage you guys to participate if you can, because, you know, schizophrenic people are only like 1% of the population. So it's kind of hard to find us out there, you know. 99% of the population does not have schizophrenia, so so I'm sure they're like grateful whenever they can find people who can help in the research, and it's good for, you know, future generations of people. You might not benefit from it at all, but it's good to know that you're maybe helping someone so they don't have to suffer as much. So maybe there's a cure someday, you know, or something. So, if you have any questions about the research or would like any more information, feel free to email me, because I got a lot of articles and stuff from the researchers. So if you want, I could email you. I guess I could make a PDF document and email you some of those, or I could mail out some copies of some of the articles if you're interested in that. So, I guess that's about it. And thanks for spending some time with me. And yeah, I hope you participate in some research, and maybe we'll figure this disease out someday. So, okay, thanks a lot. Bye.